Why women tend to lose themselves in a relationship. Women's brains are completely different to the way that a man's brain is structured. We know from science and from research that what dominates men's behavior is testosterone across all levels in terms of focus, how many words they use, whether they're emotional or not. And equally for women, estrogen and oxytocin dominate how a woman relates to the world. So when she's in a relationship, she's constantly checking in for safety and security. She's constantly checking in for the strength of the connection with him. And she uses words to do that. And what she's seeking back is words of emotion from him. The problem is that because of the way men's brains are structured and the effect of testosterone, it can take a man up to 7 hours to work out what he feels about a situation. So when a woman's communicating inside a relationship, she's constantly checking in that communication to find out how she feels about the situation. Could be money, could be kids, could be lovemaking, whatever it is. She's checking in to determine how she feels about it. He's checking in to determine what he's going to do about it. And hence, when she's trying to get this feedback from him, he's focused on doing, she's focused on feeling. And constantly searching for this feeling inside a relationship means that if she's not self-aware, she's constantly going to be seeking this from her partner. And in seeking that, what eventually happens inside a relationship for a woman, if she's not careful, is she loses sense of self. Because it's focused on the kids, it's focused on her mum, it's focused on his mum, it's focused on everybody else but her. And so it's very common in the stages of a relationship that we all go through. If you haven't watched my video on the 5 stages of a relationship, have a look at my profile page. It's on the top at the right-hand side. Watch that and you'll go through the 5 stages. So as she goes through that, at some point in those 5 stages, she's going to get to a critical emotional place for herself. And that is going to be, where am I? What happened to me? I'm so focused on everybody else. I didn't know what I feel anymore. Now, some of you women, put up comments like, well, who's a guy to be telling us how we feel? Well, this is a guy that studied men and women now for over 30 years to understand how we show up in relationships, to understand these patterns of behavior that happen in relationships, and to assist you not to fall into these pitfalls and traps that invariably occur. Now, when she's at that point, when she's lost in the relationship and doesn't know how she feels, that's when she often questions the relationship itself. I can't find myself here. It's all about him. Well, it hasn't really been all about him. You've actually been giving yourself. And again, if you haven't watched my videos on the effect of World War II culturally for women to be in their masculine state all the time and constantly busy, constantly giving, that's another reason why women end up in this place of feeling lost in themselves. And that's where you're going to question the relationship. But that's where you need to do the inner work on you to bring you back into the relationship. And one of the great things that happens in relationships in a bad sense, great in terms of like big things that happen, is that we project what's going on onto our partner. And so it's very easy to be in a place where like he hasn't been giving me. And that's partly true, but it's also been generated by you overgiving inside the relationship. And if you overgive, then a man feels like she doesn't need me. Because men are all about like doing things for you, cutting the lawn, taking the rubbish out. And when he stops doing that, I know some of you are going to go, well, my man never does that. Yeah, because now your relationship's in resentment. That's why that stopped happening. So if you've lost yourself and you need to find yourself again, we can certainly help you do that. We've got a couple of great events in San Diego and in Perth in Australia, and very soon rolling out into other cities as well, to be able to assist you to come back to that place, find love again in the relationship, connect with him again in the relationship, and truly find happiness and love. Thanks for watching. And if you've enjoyed this, please pass it on to someone that you care about.